we've just been looking at grey squirrel damage, but what about their control? Well, the first point is it's not a new problem. Indeed, as we've mentioned, it was being declared a pest since the 1930s. In the 1950s, some may remember that one could get a shilling for every squirrel tail that was given into a Ministry of Agriculture office. And back in the 1960s, it was even on the cabinet agenda of one of Macmillan's cabinet meetings. But what about today? How can they be controlled? There are three ways. Certainly in winter time you can poke the drays, those are the nests that the squirrels build high up in a tree, and the squirrels will come out, and if you've got a shotgun they can be shot. But really that's not very helpful because you're controlling them at the wrong time of year. It's not when they're doing damage to the trees, and clearly you don't want to be shooting wildlife simply for the sake of it. So what about controlling squirrels during their damage period of May, June and July? Well, you can trap them on the ground with a cage trap. You set a bait, the squirrel comes into the trap, and then you have to kill the animal once it's trapped. The law is very interesting at this point. By law, you must visit the trap every day, and once the squirrel is there, you're not allowed to re-release it elsewhere in the countryside because, as I said, it is a pest. It is publicly known as vermin, and so one has to dispose of it there and then in a humane fashion. The other main way of controlling squirrels is that there is one poison we are allowed to use in the countryside. It is warfarin, and that is put on wheat, and the squirrel feeds from special hoppers that dispense the warfarin, which no other animal or bird can gain access to for getting hold of the poison bait. So that is the other way of doing it. Again, it requires quite intensive management, but not quite as difficult or time-consuming as doing cage trapping. So there are these different ways of controlling grey squirrels. They are a pest, and we do need to get on top of them in those woodlands that are vulnerable, such as this lovely beech woodland, oak, sycamore, as I was mentioning, and particularly when they are 20, 30, 40 years of age. Thank you.